Hello everyone. So in this video, I actually want to show you if you wanted to work with any of this database, if you want to delete any of the data, you want to modify any of the data, you just want to play around and you don't know what you're just practicing and stuff. You can actually pick any database from here. Let's do this one right here. So this is the one where you're going to be using for your second assignment, this week's assignment. And if you want, you can actually export this. So there's an option to export this data. There's a lot of warnings, just ignore those. And you can export the script and import into your localhost database. Remember, this is on Chelan, right? So if you modify it here, then all the other students will be able to see it, the wrong data, whatever you added, stuff like that. But you can actually export this database to your own library, so own your own localhost computer. Remember, we're working with two PHPMyAdmins, localhost and Chelan server. So you can export from here. So I'm going to leave everything to default. I just click on export. If you get any warning, just ignore all the warnings and just click go. So it's going to download that. I already have it downloaded once, this SQL script. So I'm going to save this. I'll open that in a minute. I'll show you what that looks like. So if you open up that script in any of the editor, the script will look something like this. So all it's doing is creating that books table, and then it's inserting a lot of all the data that exists in that table. And then I think there's only one table in there, and that all the data is right there. So you can, that's all it's doing. So one thing you need to do is when you come into your local host and try to import that script, you can't just go to import and import it there. You actually have to create the database first. So you have to create the database, and it's pretty simple. You have to create that database, whatever you're trying to import here. So I'm going to do create database. Name of the database, so that was A2 underscore, what was it? It was bookstore. Something like this, right? Or you can actually name this whatever you want and click go. Now you have that database here, and now you can actually import that file that you downloaded. So I'm going to select this and go all the way down and click on import. And now that all the data from that table is imported, including the table itself, obviously, and you can actually modify whatever you do here on the local host will not be affected to the Chelan server. So now you have two copies of the same database. Okay. And moving forward, if you want to do that for any of your assignments, that's great. If you want to do that just to play around and mess around, that's fine too. But make sure you're on the local host, not on the Chelan. Okay. So you export from Chelan and you import into PHPMyAdmin on your local host.